Hello everybody. Today I'm starting with core Java. So first I'll deal with the introduction part. Java is a high-level object-oriented programming language which is platform independent and is suitable for distributed applications. Now, what do you mean by object-oriented programming language? Why Java is object-oriented programming language? Java is object-oriented programming language because everything in Java is an object. And what do you mean by platform independent? Platform independent means if a language is suitable for executing its programs in any operating system, irrespective of its development, then it is said to be platform independent. And distributed application means Java is suitable for distributed applications like banking applications, etc. And Java is developed by Sun Microsystems in the year 1995, and James Gosling is known as the father of Java. Next, Java applications. Now we'll know what are these Java applications. Desktop applications such as Acrobat Reader, Media Player, Antivirus, etc. Second one is the web applications like irctc.co.in, etc. Third one is the enterprise applications like banking applications. Fourth one is the mobile applications. Fifth one is the embedded system. Sixth one is the smart card. Seventh is the robotics. Eighth is games, etc. So Java can be used in all these applications. Next, types of Java applications. What are the types of Java applications? First one is the standalone application. Standalone applications are also known as desktop applications or Windows-based applications. Now, I'll give an example. For example, if a system is there and if a user and a system is present, and if a user gives any input to the system, and the system in turn does some calculations and gives the output back to the user. This is known as single tier application, or it is also known as desktop application or Windows based application. And examples of standalone applications are media player, antivirus, etc. And what are the technologies used for creating the standalone applications? AWT and Swing are the Java technologies which are used for creating standalone applications. Next is the web application. For example, if you consider a user, a system, and a server. And for example, the user gives any input to the system will send the input back to the server, and the server performs any calculations and gives back the output to the system, and the system gives back to the user. Here, a server is present, and it is known as a two-tier application. So here an application that runs on the server side and creates a dynamic page is called a web application. And what are the technologies used for creating web applications? Currently servlet, JSP, Strut, Spring, Hibernate, JSF, etc. are used for creating web applications in Java. Next, enterprise applications. What are enterprise applications? An application that is distributed in nature, such as banking applications, is called as enterprise application, and it has advantages of high level security, and EJB is the technology used for creating enterprise application. And the fourth one is the mobile application. An application which is created for mobile devices is called a mobile application. Currently Android is used for creating mobile applications in Java. And my next topic is Java platforms or additions. There are three platforms or additions in Java. First one is Java Standard Edition, and it includes the Java programming APIs like java.lang, java.io, java.net, java.util, java.sql, java.math, etc. And it includes the technologies like OOP, string, regular expression, exceptions, inner classes, multi-threading, input-output stream, networking, AWT, Spring, reflection, collections, etc. The second one is the Java EE or Java Enterprise Edition. It is an enterprise platform which is used mainly to develop web applications and enterprise applications. It includes the technologies like servlets, JSP, web services, EJB, JPA, etc. And the third one is the Java ME or Java Micro Edition. It is a platform which is mainly used to develop mobile applications. Next, we'll see what are the features of Java. The features of Java are, first one is the simple. Every Java program can be written using simple English language, and these programs can be easily understandable by each and every developer, and also it is easy to develop. And Java is free from pointers. The disadvantages of pointers is there is no security for the data, and the burden on the developer is more, and the pointers are very difficult to handle. So that is the reason why Java is simple. Next is object oriented. Why Java is object oriented? Because everything in Java is an object. And what are the OOPS features? OOPS features are class, object, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and abstraction. Now, what is the difference between object and a class? For example, you want to construct a building. Then, in order to construct a building, first you need a blueprint or an architecture of the building. This blueprint or an architecture is an example for a class. And if you can, and after constructing the building is an example for an object. So object is a real world entity, whereas class is a virtual entity. That is, object can be seen, real world entity can be seen, whereas the class, which is a virtual entity, cannot be seen. So this is an example for object and a class. Next is encapsulation. What do you mean by encapsulation? Encapsulation means if a data members and methods are encapsulated into a single unit, are included in a are combined into a single unit using a class, then it is known as encapsulation. And class is the best example for encapsulation. Next is polymorphism. The ability of an object to exist in its multiple forms is known as polymorphism. For example, there are different ways of communicating in this real world. That is, even the humans can communicate as well as the animals can also communicate in their own way. So the object which exists in the ability of an object to communicate in different ways is known as polymorphism. So next is the inheritance. Now, what do you mean by inheritance? Inheritance means the parent class, the child class can be the ability of one class inheriting the properties and methods from its parent class is known as inheritance. And that is, for example, if you consider a parent and a child, the child can inherit all its parents' properties. So this is an example for inheritance. And next is the abstraction. What do you mean by abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but hiding the unnecessary details from the user, is known as abstraction. And abstraction can be uh, easily explained with inheritance. And so this is about object oriented OOPS features. And next is portable. Why Java is portable? Java is a portable language. A language is said to be portable whenever those programs are executed in any operating system and in any processor, irrespective of its development. That is, portable means platform independent plus architecture neutral. Next is platform independent. What do you mean by platform independent? Java is platform independent language. Platform represents an operating system. A language is said to be platform independent whenever those programs executing in any operating system irrespective of its development. And a language is said to be platform dependent whenever those programs are executing in the same operating system where that uses where the user developed. Example of this platform dependent feature is C and C++. And example for the platform independency is Java. And every platform independent language should follow the below rules. The size of the data type should be same in every operating system. That is, example in Java, int data type occupies 4 bytes of memory in every operating system. Whereas C language, the int data type occupies 2 bytes of memory for 32-bit operating system and 4 bytes of memory for 64-bit operating system. And next is secured. Java is secured. Uh, excuse me. Java is secure. Why Java is secure? Java is secure because it is free from pointers. In general, for every program, developer should write another program or algorithm to provide security for the data. Whenever the number of programs are increasing, then the security programs or algorithms are also increased. And this leads to a burden on the developer. So to overcome this problem, Sun Microsystem developed predefined security programs for the at the time of designing of Java so that the developer can use these programs to provide security while writing the programs. That is, Java also supports encryption and decryption techniques at very high level. And these encryption and decryption are the techniques mainly used to overcome the problem of hacking. And the next is robust. Why Java is robust? Robust means strong. Java is strong because for every programming language, errors are generated in two levels, that is compile time errors and runtime errors. Compile time errors are the errors generated at compile time, and these errors can be handled by any language very easily. Whereas runtime errors generated at the execution time of the program. That is, runtime errors are also known as logical errors or exceptions. And using structured oriented programming languages like C, it is very difficult to handle the runtime errors. And runtime errors can be handled using a special concept called exception handling. And exception handling is supported by Java. That means Java language is very efficient to handle runtime errors. So because of this reason, Java can be called as very strong or robust. And Java also has strong memory. Java is also having strong memory management. That is why Java is robust. Next one is architecture neutral. What do you mean by architecture neutral? Architecture neutral means the language can be executed on any processor irrespective of its development. That is, the language is processor independent. Java is architecture neutral means that it is processor independent. That is, language is said to be architecture neutral whenever these programs are executed by any processor irrespective of its development. And next is interpreted. What do you mean by interpreted? Okay, interpreted in the earlier versions of Java, the compilation process was very fast and interpretation process was a little bit slow. To overcome this problem, a special interpreter was used called JIT, that is just-in-time compiler. And JIT compiler will speed up the execution process of Java. So because of this reason, Java can be called as interpreted. And next is high performance. Why Java is called as high performance language? Because there is an inbuilt garbage collector for efficient memory management. This is one point. And the next reason is Java is free from pointers. That is, Java does not support explicit pointers. So that handling of programs are very easy and burden on the developer is very less. And Java is multi-threaded programming language. Because of executing multiple programs simultaneously, the time taken process can be reduced. And this is one reason. And the next reason is magic of bytecode. That is to increase its execution speed. That is why Java is of high performance. Next is multi-threaded. Uh, Now Java is, what do you mean by multi-threaded? Whenever any language supports multiple flow of controls, then it is known as multi-threaded programming language. And advantages of multi-threaded programming language are time taken process is very less, performance and efficiency is more, and problem occurred at one location is not reflected on the other area of the program. If you consider single-threaded programming language, the user is facing the problem of single-threaded programming language. That is, What are the disadvantages of single-threaded programming language? The time taken process will be more and the performance will be less or slow. Next, distributed. Why Java is distributed? In general, network-based applications are classified into three types: centralized applications, client-server architecture-based application, and distributed application. Now, what are centralized applications? Centralized applications are the applications where multiple clients are able to communicate with a single server. And in this scenario, only server system is having the components like hard disk, RAM, processor, OS, etc. But the client system is not having these individual components. Because of this reason, every request of client will be executed in only one server system so that the burden on the server is increased. So to overcome the above disadvantage, the client-server architecture-based applications are introduced. What are client-server architecture-based applications? These are the applications in which multiple clients are able to communicate with single server. But in this scenario, not only server system is having the individual components like HD, RAM, processor, operating system, etc., but even the client system is also containing these components so that the burden on the server can be reduced while processing the request. But the main disadvantage in this client server architecture based application is that multiple clients depends on only single server. Whenever any problem arises in server, then this will be reflected on every client system. So to overcome the above disadvantages, distributed applications are introduced. Distributed applications are introduced. Now, what are distributed applications? In this scenario, multiple clients can be able to communicate with multiple servers. That is, same application is distributed in multiple servers, and all the servers are interconnected with a special network called internet, in which even one server is having some problem, then the client request will go to another server. That means the problem in one server is not reflected on other client systems. Next one is the dynamic. Why Java is dynamic? In general, for any program, the memory is allocated in two different ways. One is static memory or compile time memory, and second one is the dynamic memory or runtime memory. Now, what is static memory? Whenever memory is allocated at the time of compilation, then it is known as static memory or compile time memory. The major disadvantage in static memory is wastage of memory space, and this problem can be overcome using the dynamic memory. Now, what is dynamic memory? Whenever memory is allocated for the data at runtime or execution time of the program, such memory is known as dynamic memory or runtime memory. The major advantage with dynamic memory is no wastage of memory space. So Java supports only dynamic memory allocations. That means there is no chance of wastage of memory space. Because of the above reason, we can say that Java is dynamic. So I will conclude up to this point and I will continue in the next video. So thank you everybody.